Okay, hello and welcome back to the World Series Chess Christmas calendar. It is day 6 and we are, of course, playing e4. We play knight f3, we play d4 and it's a scotch. You don't dare. You don't dare. Okay, they don't dare. Brilliant. We're playing a slightly higher rated opponent here, roughly 100 elo on me, and so, no surprise, they play the top level master move, knight to f6 here. This is by far the most common move at the master level. It's kind of equalizes for black. I think that's why the scotch isn't super popular at master level, because this does tend to equalize pretty easily, the Schmidt variation of the scotch with knight f6. However, bishop b4 is almost certainly going to be the... What the hell is that? I've seen that before. Damn it. You know what? I'm pretty sure I saw that like earlier today in a bullet game and just thought it was nonsense and didn't look into it, and then realized it wasn't nonsense and then still didn't look into it. Interesting. I've got nothing but respect for my opponent and what they're doing here. Bishop b4, we would have tried to go for some takes, queen d4, interesting counterplay, which has a decent win rate. This, okay, what's the idea? Here, and I guess if queen e7, then, oh, I know this. Something's just twigged in my brain. If here queen e7 and we go for queen to e2 to break the pin, then you can take this, and that's problematic. If I take here with tempo on the queen, you take here with tempo on my queen, and we genuinely see knight c6, knight c3, knight d8, knight d1, I think, knight f7, knight f7, knight h8, knight h1, bishop c4 to try and bring my knight out. And then, I mean, I think I am just ahead of move, but I am down a pawn, and I think they can salvage their knight, so I don't actually think this is a great idea. I think they get this kind of chain of captures while we get this chain of captures. I'm vaguely familiar with this. I am burning crazy amounts of time, but this is a critical moment, I think. If I take here queen e7 and then I take here, you can go check, and what a bastard of a move. There must be a response to this, and after this game, it's good that I'm saying this because I will now learn this after this game. Takes queen e7 presumably. What? I'm going to start with takes. I don't like this whole liquidating line. It's not very interesting. If this, I'm assuming this, I don't see anything else other than queen to e7, because otherwise, what are you doing? Yeah, okay, sure, you pin this, and the point is then generally you can break the pin and defend the knight such that the following f5 or d5 wouldn't attack a pinned piece, but in so doing I'd hang my queen. If this, then you can take with check. This ends up working, and, you know, much to my chagrin, this ends up being an annoying little idea that I don't have a good response to. What if I play bishop d3? You take here, and I just castle. And I simply try and get a rook to the e-file as quick as possible. I say, listen, you can have a pawn. Because what I could do as well is defend my knight, or move my knight, let's say. Oh no, sorry, what am I talking about? My knight's already defended. What I could do is, like an f3, then you have to play f5, no, not f5, sorry, d5, excuse me, to attack the knight, and in the end, maybe I end up able to sort of take and win the pawn back. I don't think I want to. I think I'm going to go bishop d3. I think I'm going to expedite castling. I'd imagine my opponent's still in theory, because bishop d3 seems like a logical move, although hopefully they spend a little time here and they're not still in theory, because otherwise I'm getting out-prepped in the scotch, and that, I mean, I've already been out-prepped in the scotch, but that is frankly unacceptable. I think for the price of the pawn, we get the very quick rook e1, you slow down the development of your bishop. Neither bishop has any legal moves right now, therefore your rook's kind of dead. You know, the entire position here is absolutely curtailed in terms of the developmental speed possible by this queen e7. You're going to go for a bit of that, sure. I'm getting a quick rook e1 though. If I start with rook e1, sack a knight, you get to play knight e6 probably, and then, yeah, that's a bit dubious, I think. I don't know why I wouldn't start with this though, because again, we've got the tempo of coming to e1. You've got some, you know, here or here, it's not the end of the world, you're not losing the queen, but knight here attacking this. I guess bishop e6 is just going to be really annoying. You are up a clean pawn, and I'm losing my lead in development here, but maybe there's still some lead in a sort of ortho-schnappian sense. For those of you that watch any of my videos on the ortho-schnap, where the queen often comes to e7, and then it kind of just, you know, you've got to move the queen to develop the bishop. Or they're just going to defend like that, which of course makes some sense, and you can reactively instead of prophylactically play bishop e6. Or knight e6, but I don't know why you wouldn't develop the bishop, I guess. I mean, I do have some kind of like bishop h7 and then take a knight, but this is nonsense because I don't actually want to open the h-file. There's no desperado here that seems logical, I don't think. I mean, maybe this would actually be quite funny, trying to ruin some structure. Rook e1. I'm starting with rook e1. This has to be a no-brainer. You've got multiple moves that save you here. Going back with the knight is, of course, one of them, but it's a move with tempo, and the rook on the same file as the king and queen has to make some sense. I think this is decent counterplay for the pawn. It would be pretty fun to go like bishop b5. Oh, I didn't even think about with the knight here. That would be possible anyway. Here, the idea to take, but you just move your queen back, and then what the hell am I doing there? Okay, awesome. I can maybe go like bishop here, do something kind of fancy, try and move it here, not let this hang. There are ideas here, you know, bishop here. I don't think I mind this. I think I just want to get real developed real quick. c6 is annoying because it is kind of just clamping down on this knight. I need to reroute it, and that's in general a slow process which might let them start untangling their position a little bit. But it also means the castling queenside is not very hospitable. You want to castle kingside, but that's going to still take quite a few moves, 1, 2, 3 here. And even then, maybe I'm getting some interesting attacking ideas. The bishop's already lined up quite pleasantly. I don't mind what I'm doing, but I definitely think black is objectively doing decently. I wonder how reasonable this is. This is probably a very useful moment. Yeah, they do go queen f6. I do have bishop here. I can go back, but like this move, I like it. You know? I also vaguely like some freaky knight sack idea that might work at some point. Do I want to close the rook? I guess I get the tempo on the queen. You don't want to go back here. You don't really want to go back here, I guess. You stay out, you go to... Oh, do you know what? Let's just keep chasing some initiative here. Keep chasing some initiative. You've got a queen that came to e7 by virtue of the fact you went for this opening. That was then the only resource. It's a cool little idea, but I think fundamentally if I kind of give you the pawn and just play like this, surely I've got enough development, enough compensation. I don't know where you're going with this. Yeah, okay, fine, but maybe f4? Just continually harass the queen again? And then ooh, there's some tempo to play f5 potentially. Probably should have thought about that significantly more, but it also seems like a bit of a no-brainer now with regards to f5 and then potential discoveries. Yes, now I'm cooking something up. Queen g5, definitely a bit dodgy. And we're garnering tempo from the queen. Again, that rook e1, they had to respond because the queen was here. The bishop here, they had to respond because the queen was here. They had to move the queen because they need to develop the bishop, because they need to castle, because they played c6 to kill my knight, but that means castling this way kind of sucks. We are exploiting the fundamental concession that they had to make in the opening, and this feels good. f5's on its way. I might be a genius. I'm thinking, I mean, how many moves do you actually have? It's really not looking like many. I mean, we're literally talking like 3 moves, aren't we? And all of them seem to suck, because what do they do to stop this? And if you move the knight, then do I not have bishop c7 and a discovery? Getting the rook to the e file, this is fantastic. Ooh, queen b6. I don't see how that makes any difference. f5, queen b6. I can just go here. Sure, I'm winning this knight. You cannot afford to move the knight. The queen's on a dark square, and beautifully, all the squares the queen could just move to were dark squares, and so there was no way this kind of impending discovery obviously would have had something anyway with a discovery here, grab a rook, but the queen had to stay on the dark square. You do some shenanigans counter-attacking me, sure. Here, check, possibly. King takes, bishop c4. That's disgusting. Here, check, and if king takes, bishop c4, you have to come back to the e-file and I get my discovery. Gorgeous. Here, obviously forced. Then I take, and what? You either stay on the e-file or walk into some discovery here. I'm going for this. I think this has to work. I don't think you can take here, although I think you kind of need to, should you not want to just be down material. But when I take here, look at us tearing open this king. Oh my lord, sometimes I play some good chess. I'm proud of this one because this is a strong player playing an opening that I know to be theoretically vaguely sound at least, that I haven't got sort of prep towards, that I think I've handled blind with immense care and immense skill, I must say. Bishop c4 is going to cut some crazy diagonal, and then the point is that you need to stay attached to your queen. The only way to do that is to come back into the e-file. You walk straight into the discovery. Bishop c7 should win. There might be mating ideas. There might be better ideas. Who knows? Who cares? This is so disgusting. Oh my lord. And it's no better if you don't take the pawn. You just go here, or like it's just not going to work. Oh no, but I can take. And then king takes, and then bishop, right? I didn't think about that, though. Maybe I should consider this. There could be some crazy mating ideas here. I think it's a bit of a no-brainer to go check. You take bishop c7. I'm proud of this win. It's not quite a win yet, but I want to put it to bed. You can't take this unless you lose your queen for the price of a bishop. And was that pawn worth it? Was that extra? Look at this position and ask yourself, was that pawn really worth it? This is... I mean, day 6 of the World Chess Christmas calendar, some scintillating stuff. Oh my god. Okay, I think we might be mating. I've just got a hunch, just a sliver of a hunch that we might be mating here. Check. You know what? I'm not calculating this. I just refused. Principally, I'm not considering, like, check. Come on now. Queen here. At least we get bishop here. And then if here we get here. Yeah, it's a long day for you, man. Oh my lord. Check. G5. Check. Is there something funny where we can go like h4 to start? I quite like that actually. Push the g pawn. Check g5 is forcing. Then, you know what? I think I like starting with h4. I think this is all sorts of fancy, and I think, again, we've got quite a secure position. Everything's very much held. You know, you can take here, great. You can give me a check here, great. I go king h1 and you got no further checks. And my idea is that I'm not letting you play g5 because I'm just dominating this square. Bishop f4 is then inbound, and after this, surely I'm just mopping everything up. I mean, the king... This isn't the safest king I've ever seen. I'll put it that way. This really is not. I don't know if h4 was actually necessary there. Maybe there was some forcing mate, but honestly, I'm not remotely concerned with the most efficient mate. I'm kind of concerned with putting this to bed, and I think this is fancy. I like it. I think it's also, you know, anticipating g5 and not just blindly giving this check where it looks like a kind of a no-brainer, honestly. I feel like after here, g5, we can go check, you can come in, whatever. Sure, give a check. I'm going to h1. No further checks, Your Honor. Where are you going? Where on earth do you think you're going? You're going this way? I don't think you are, though, because I'm holding this. So, check. King h... Right, I'm starting with this. King here being the only move fills me with amazing amounts of joy. Obviously, g5 is a move, but surely not. Well, maybe, actually. Hold on. I get bishop g7 in the end. King here. Okay, whatever. Now, you'd imagine, right? You'd imagine that in this position, bishop excuse me. Bishop g4 has got to be a good idea. Or rather g4. King takes... Oh my lord, then g5? Hold on. Hold on, we're having some fun here. We're having some fun here. Oh my god. And then. I mean, I've got check mate here, which is mate in 1, I think. That's mate, right? Yeah, okay, sweet. But also, g5 with the idea to then, I believe, force the move king h5 to then... We're going to style on a little more. We're going to style on him just a little more. I had mate in 1. If I somehow blunder this now, I will cry. Genuinely, I'll start crying. That's not... I've said that before on the channel, but this time it'll be... Okay, they resign. Fair enough. I was going to have a little fun here. Obviously, that have been made to follow, but I was thinking that maybe king here, we go bishop here. The king comes back, and we go like bishop d1, and then king h3, and then check. There'd have been something disgustingly freaky, I'm sure. But, you know, ending the game with g5 check, g5 discovered check. It's a resignation compelled by a humble pawn. That, if that is accurate, if that is as accurate as I suspect, okay, clearly one big moment here where queen f6 was a blunder. I shouldn't have played bishop e5, but then after that, they blundered with queen g5. I knew queen g5 was a blunder because that let me go for my f4, f5 idea. I think... Ooh. Okay, I mean, I definitely don't hate the way I played this. This one blunder, because again, it was quite a short game, so it says 80% accuracy. There were 24 moves. If one of them's a blunder, obviously that's going to massively affect the accuracy metric. But again, I was never really majorly losing. There was just a missed win here, and then the conversion started looking real nice. So, we are going to the start of the game. I'm going to slap my face cam right up there so you can see the database, and we're going to see that in the Scotch. In fact, I'm going to open my own database here, because in the Scotch, my overall win rate is 59 to 36, and we're talking over, you know, 1,000 games, or nearly 1,000 games. This is obviously, you know, this is my opening. This is my opening, baby. You know, we see the Blumenfeld Scotch, or the classical variations. My Blumenfeld win rate's disgusting. Knight f6, though, the next most popular move, is the only one where regularly, apart from apparently d5, which has happened 12 times, and okay, that's not the biggest amount of data. It's the only one where, you know, regularly I seem to be in a little bit of trouble. And I believe that's because I used to go for this sort of knight c6, bc6, e5 idea. And there's a bunch of bullet games from 2022. In fact, you know what? Let me get rid of bullet and blitz and see. Yeah, so in rapid, it's even worse. What's my win rate in the Scotch? Okay, 350 rapid games, we're looking at 60% win rate, awesome. But we just get rid of, you know, bullet and blitz games, which mean a little less. But I used to go for this kind of idea here where, honestly, I just didn't understand this well enough. I just played it because it was theory, and then I think, yeah, I don't know, I thought there was like some queen e7 line, and then queen here, then this, and like bishop, oh no, bishop a6 or something. Anyway, whatever. Used to play that line, not to great effect, and then pivoted to this line in the Schmidt variation where after bishop to b4, I used to take here, b takes, and then play bishop d3. And okay, 43-43 with 14% draws. Fine. It's very equalizing and drawish. I don't get amazing positions here. Recently, I've started going for this queen d4. We played it twice in rapid and won twice. Anyway, point is, flipping out, I'm going on a massive tangent here. Point is, this Schmidt variation in general was a bit problematic for me. And you can see in the Masters database, the most popular move 45% of the time. Lee Chess database, it's more like 13. But strong players tend to go for this because black has quite a strong win rate. Indeed. However, have I seen this before? Apparently I have in 2023. Okay, what? Have I seen it in a blitz or bullet game recently? Yes. There was a blitz game the other day. I mean, I'm talking literally like 24 hours ago. Oh, you guys can't see that. This was 24 hours ago. I had this blitz game where I ended up going for that precise line that I detailed here with the whole sort of takes, because I thought, oh, I'll take here. You've got to recapture and then I can take here. Easy money. You don't. There's takes, and then there's this weird symmetrical line of captures. Takes. I ended up giving a check and then recapturing, but I think you can go for this, and it's just not wildly pleasant. And then I think this became dead even the whole time. My opponent had a brief moment where they could have gone bishop h3, missed it. It's dead even again until ages later I missed one opportunity, then clutched this up, created a pass pawn over here, and then created a pass pawn over here, and I ended up winning this against a 23-45 in blitz. Pretty good stuff. However, I did remember that and instead chose to go for this takes line here. Now this is where, what do masters do? Knight takes e4, perfect. Queen e7, and it is f3. Bishop d3 though is the next most common move. What's the engine's top move? f3 and bishop d3, right. This, they can obviously go for d5. Maybe you go for some theory here where like bishop b5, and then apparently they have to find bishop d7, which, yeah, 93% of people play, sure. Then apparently we take, castle. They get to take, and pick this. No, they don't. Okay, fine. So yeah, we win the pawn. Basically, as I said, we could play f3 and try and win the pawn back, or we go for this idea of going bishop d3 to then castle to then bishop c4. What the hell is that? Oh my lord, why? What kind of... Yeah, just, I don't even want to think about that. I apparently had knight g5 here, which I didn't even remotely consider. Actually, it's quite an active play for the knight. If you ever kick it, you are creating some light squared softness. Why is knight h7 coming up here? I guess you get this as an intermezzo, and here maybe you can trade, or literally knight h7 and take the bishop, maybe. I don't know. I'm not even going to look into that. I'll look into that in my own time. I'm taking ages in this analysis. We go back here to e6, and then bishop here. This is a mistake. I did have this sack. No. I thought I might. Oh, I take here first and then do this. And then when the king moves, I've got to check here and I'm mating? Yeah, okay. I mean, something was calling out to me about that sack. I vaguely calculated in my head, takes, here, pick this up, but just didn't really see the continuation. Instead, after this, they should have gone back. They shouldn't have given me the tempo to play f4. Once I did, f5. Now, from here on out, pretty much perfect stuff. Takes, noticing that I can take, not being scared of this and moving this and saying, you know what, this is super clarifying. And after here, I mean, okay, look, I've got mating ideas. Queen f3, sure, fine. You know, I guess you can go back this way, but then you get bishop c4, so fair enough. Probably should have been dreaming of this this queen e3 resource. Bishop g3, you move across. I'm cutting too many diagonals. Oh my lord, this is mate. Fine, I could have chased the mate a little more. Went for bishop c4 though. Went for this. Now I'm mating, of course. Queen g4 here. Rook e3 with a rook lift would have made a lot of sense. And if you go for like g4, that does absolutely nothing because now I'm mating you here. So, or rather g5, excuse me. I liked my h4 though. I mean, I think if you let the engine think, yeah, there you go. It's going to find that it's mate in 8 and this was mate in 4. It's like, okay, sure, I'm doing well here. They went for a little intermezzo check, which was very resilient. And then g6, which was very resilient. Queen f4. You got to play g5 and try and survive for a bit, but king h5, g4 check best. We do have mate there, but I'm liking my g5 king here, and then I was going to mess around a little bit, force the king here, probably go like bishop d1, king h3. There are so many mates here, it's just unbelievable. Maybe rook e3 is an intermezzo, because after here, we still have mate. Just throw away a rook. Something fancy, I don't know, draw the king nice and close to mine, as close as two kings can ever be. It is a great tragedy of chess that the two kings can never touch. How lonely they must feel. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. This was a rather outrageous game indeed. I think in future, just to decide on what is my response to this going to be, it is absolutely going to be to take with the knight here. There's nothing else that looks particularly logical. I don't like this line. And then after queen e7, I happened upon the move that in the Lee Chess database, look, 50%. It's the only one with a strong win rate. Everything else kind of naff. Even playable moves like this, like queen d3, like takes here. These aren't going to be blunders, but black starts doing quite well. Bishop d3 seems, if the database is anything to go by, to limit the kind of counterplay here. Castles is nice and sweet. If d5, then I guess I should be prepping bishop c4. I don't want to give up that bishop, though. What the hell is this? Although white apparently wins so many times in this. I guess it's because only cracked players are playing this idea. Bishop g5. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to go for this approach again. Maybe then I play knight g5 and slightly improve on it and go for my rook e1, etc. Chase some f4, f5 stuff. Who knows? But I'm going to leave it in this rather helpless-looking position, as I say. Thank you immensely for watching. If you enjoyed this video, check out the Patreon. Links in the description. There is a bonus video every single Sunday. There's been one for the past 40-odd weeks, so there are 40 already up for you to go and ravenously consume at your leisure, and there will be one every week for the rest of eternity. You get your name on the esteemed patron scroll at the end of all of my videos as a small token of thanks, and discounts from stuff that I sell on the Patreon. If you're remotely interested, it would massively support the channel. Thank you for checking it out. If not, please continue to enjoy the free content here on YouTube. I nevertheless hugely appreciate your viewership. Hopefully you're enjoying this Christmas calendar, and I'll see you tomorrow for day 7. Hasta la vista. Goodbye.